Sawadee Cup. A 4, which means before I started reading today, I had homework to do. Class, and so did you. So what I did was research out very popular drop shipping. We talked about yesterday drop shipping, where the manufacturer will ship for you. You're an order taker. You're a website. Like that guy did with the sound effects. Somebody else manufactured that CD of sound effects, and he just sold it. So I liked that his product was $325 average. Because that way you don't really have to do volume. You just have to sell X number a month to make the money you want to make. Like he had 10 orders or something, and he was making good money. So long term, I'm still searching. I want to find a product like that, business to business, right? They call it B2B, because business customers have the deeper wallets than the public. But I want to get started. I just want to do a business using the techniques in this book. So I have identified charging cables for phones. Everybody has a fucking cell phone, from grandma down to a 6-year-old. And the charging cables break or snap, or you keep putting it in and taking it out of the port, and it winds up not connecting anymore. It's a problem. I have the same problem everybody else does. These things suck. So there's a new technology where you get the wire and it has a magnet, and then you get a plug for your either micro C, iOS, Apple, Apple, Android, and there's another one out there too. So you plug a gushmuggy, that's a technical term. You plug a piece into the bottom of your phone and it stays there, and then when it's time to charge, you just magnet and pull it. So it doesn't break, it doesn't bend, it doesn't tear off. They're out there. You can search for them, and I still have to do a lot of research right now that I found the product. And I know that it's popular and it's available from a drop shipper. AliExpress is the one I'm using. That's from China. Big market drop shipping place. Everything you could possibly think of is there. So when you find your product or determine your product, it's probably on AliExpress. So they're charging 25 cents to ship the cable to the U.S., which is fucking dirt cheap. So everything is set up. Now all I have to do is do some market research and find out what people are paying for these things. I'll look on Amazon. I'll look, Facebook Marketplace for the United States. I'll check different price ranges and see what I could sell it for. And they different colors, which people like. And like I said, it's the 3 different plugs. One's for Android, one's for Apple, and the other one I don't know what it's for. I guess older Androids, because I think I know my Note 20 has a different charging port than my Note 9 did. So maybe it's like the old Android, the new Android, and Apple. And then a bunch of different colors, red, gold, blue, whatever. People like to personalize, people like to individualize. So once again, it's drop shipping, so it doesn't matter. I'm not going to have 1,000 cables here in my condo. They're all at the manufacturer until somebody orders. I'm just the middleman. I'm just going to pass it through. The problem is, I haven't looked yet, but I'm guessing like $3 to $5 is going to be the retail price, right? $4.99 or $2.99, whatever it is. I'll do the research, but it's going to be low. It's not going to be $300 for a fucking cable, and that means I'm going to have to sell a lot of them to make any kind of good money. But since it's drop shipping, right, I don't have to buy the product, I don't have to store the product, I don't have to ship the product, I don't do anything but take orders. And taking the orders, obviously I'll have a VA, or, well, like I said, a Fiverr. I mentioned FIVERR.com. I'll have somebody there design me a website with a shopping cart and all that crap and tie it into my bank account here in Thailand. And obviously I could sell all over the world, not just America, but, I'll start in America because I'm familiar with it, whatever, and there's, it's a pretty technologically advanced country, and, whatever I sell. It's all extra money, right? It won't cost much to set that stuff up, but when I do, I'll share the cost with you on here. Like I said, I promise I'd do what's in the book. That's what's in the book. I picked a product. It's phone charging cables with magnets on the end of them. What the hell? I'll give it a whirl. I'll see how it works out. I'll let you know. I'll keep you abreast. But that was my homework, was picking a product, and I picked one. But I'm telling you right now, it's not the product. That's not what I'm going to wind up doing. I want something for businesses instead of people, not retail but B2B, and something that goes for a higher price point, and something that businesses would buy again. We talked about subscription businesses a lot last year. Like supplements. You buy every month, you get supplements, right? You get pills, vitamins or whatever, something like that a business would buy. So I haven't figured that out yet, but I'm thinking about it, and I'll come up with it. And when I do, I'll let you know. But in the meantime, I'm going to sell charging cables, something. Pay-per-click advertising, Google, multiply this. Okay, we talked about all this stuff. It's time to find your muse. Yeah. Okay, so the cables aren't my muse, but it's a online business that I don't need to spend a lot of time managing. That was the whole point of the exercise, right? Crawl before you walk before you run. There are 1,000,001 ways to make $1 million. From franchising to freelance consulting, the list is endless. Fortunately, most of them are unsuited to our purpose. This chapter is not for people who want to run business, but for those who want to own business and spend little to no time on them. The response I get when I introduce this concept is more or less a universal, huh? People can't believe that most of the ultra-successful companies in the world do not manufacture their own products, answer their own phones, ship their own products, or service their own customers. There are hundreds of companies that exist to pretend to work for someone else and handle these functions, providing rentable infrastructures to anyone who knows where to find them. Think Microsoft. Do you think Microsoft manufactures the Xbox 360, or that Kodak designs and distributes their digital cameras? Guess again. Flextronics, a Singapore-based engineering and manufacturing firm with locations in 30 countries and $15.3 billion in annual revenue, does both. Well, there you go. I never knew that. Xboxes are made in Singapore, and so is Kodak digital cameras. Learn something new. Most popular brands of mountain bikes in the U.S. are all manufactured in the same 3 or 4 plants in China. Dozens of call centers press one button to answer calls for the JCPenney's of the world, another to answer calls for the Dell Computers of the world, and yet another to answer calls for the new rich like me. It's all beautifully transparent and cheap. So I rented an office, like office share space place, whatever, from a company that got a whole floor in a Class A building, really nice big building. They took the whole floor over, and then they sub-rented out to small businesses like me, one office. And we got to use the meeting room 8 hours a day. And the secretary answered the phone up front, the receptionist. And when the line came in, it came in, One Realty Corp. And she would say, One Realty Corp, how may I help you? And she did that for everybody on the whole floor. So that's an example of what he's talking about. It seemed like I had a receptionist, and I didn't. I was just renting, I don't know, $600 a month, $800 a month. I honestly don't remember what the rent was there, but it was a nice office, a nicer office than I could have afforded at the time I was a startup in 2016. And I had a receptionist, and it was all part of the rent. And there was a copy machine, and it was all part of the rent, right? Wi-Fi, high-speed Wi-Fi, it was all part of the rent. So this is a similar concept, just on a bigger scale than renting the office space on a monthly basis. Before we create the virtual architecture, however, we need a product to sell. If you own a service business, this section will help you convert expertise into a downloadable or shippable good to escape the limits of a per-hour based model. If starting from scratch, ignore service businesses for now, as constant customer contact makes absence difficult. To narrow the field further, our target product can't take more than $500 to test. It has to lend itself to automation within 4 weeks, and when up and running, it can't require more than 1 day per week of management. All right, so he's setting the parameters now. So when you're looking for your product, if you haven't done it already, it can't take more than $500 startup to cost to build, to test, to send one out, to ship one, to advertise. It has to lend itself to automation within 4 weeks, and when up and running, can't require more than 1 day per week of your time management. Can a business be used to change the world, like the Body Shop or Patagonia? Yes, but that isn't our goal here. Can a business be used to cash out through an IPO or a sale? Yes, but that isn't our goal either. Our goal is simple: to create an automated vehicle for generating cash without consuming time. That's it. I will call this vehicle a muse, whenever possible, to separate it from ambiguous term business, which can refer to a lemonade stand or a Fortune 10 oil conglomerate. Our objective is more limited and thus requires a more precise label. So first things first, cash flow and time. With these two currencies, all other things are possible. Without them, nothing is possible. All right, so because I yapped and gapped in the beginning for whatever, talking about my stupid cables, I'll end it there. But I'm happy what he did. He gave more precise, because some of you might have wanted to think of a product or look for a product and just not known how to go about it. That's fair. So now he broke it down and said, this is what you're looking for. This is what you want to do. These are the requirements. These are the parameters of the business that you're going to start. And once again, even if you have another business, I talked before about my buddy Rod with a D, and he has an electrical business that he's starting, and he's putting a lot of time into that. But I think having an online business also would be fantastic for him, especially if it doesn't take his time, so he can focus on building the electrical business. And my other buddy Jeffrey I talked about with the apparel place. Well, by all means, keep the apparel shop going and keep looking for new customers and everything you've been doing, but hey, maybe find also a product you can sell online. Jeffrey has talked to me about maybe moving to Thailand at some point. And if he does, having that online income steady here where it spends better could be huge. I mean, like he can wind up selling his company back in America and just using the money from the online thing. And, you know, once you've done this, once I get the cable thing set up, like he said, within 4 weeks and for less than $500, I get the business set up selling these cables. It's kind of, the whole point is it's on autopilot. It runs, and there's nothing precluding from me or Rod or Jeffrey or you from making another business. Once your baby is up and running and it's hassle-free and it doesn't take a lot of time to manage, to come up with another product. Charging cables are not the only product out there that's selling right now, and it changes too over time. 5 years from now, there'll be some other technology that makes things obsolete, like this new magnet thing makes the old charger obsolete, right? This is obsolete technology, and it's only been around, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. And the way they keep changing the phones and making different ports is a fucking pain in the ass. So there'll be a different technology probably that we won't even need a wireless charging. It's already out there with you put it on the pad and stuff like that, and fast charging. My Note 9 had that, where it had a black plastic pad that you plugged in and the phone sat in the back of it. Got hot as a motherfucker, but it did charge and it did work for a while. And then I think it broke and I stopped using it. But the point is, technology always changes. So 3 years from now, there'll be new tech that you can sell. 5 years from now, there'll be new tech you can sell. And, you could have 10 or 20 of these companies, sleeping masks is a thing, right? I saw that in my research. I decided to go with the cable instead of the sleeping mask, but the sleeping mask is a thing. So then you do sleeping masks, and then vertical monopoly and combining products. Now the next thing you do in addition to the sleeping mask is pajamas, like silk pajamas, right? And they order silk pajamas, and at checkout you say, oh, add a sleeping mask for $1.99 or $4.99 or whatever the price point is. Once again, you got to do market research, but you see how those two go together. Now you got two products, but you're making one sale, one customer, and selling two products. Upsell, right? You add a sleeping mask to your silk pajamas, right? Pillows, whatever. I mean, you see how this stuff works now. You're starting to get the idea, and be creative. Just fucking brainstorm. Just Think of ideas, do some research, get excited about it. This can absolutely change your life. So are the phone cables going to change my life? No, hell no. But, whatever. Say I make an extra $1,000 a month, right? Which is not a lot from one of these businesses. $1,000 is 33,000 baht, and as I've said, you can get a lot for 33,000 baht here in Thailand. A lot of food, a lot of house, a lot of car, a lot of gas, a lot of insurance, a lot of whatever. I go food shopping, it's 2,000 baht, $60. When I pay my rent, it's 8,000 baht, right? $255. So if I'm making $1,000 a month off of this business that I didn't have before, it's gravy. It's all just gravy, guys. You gotta check this stuff out. Give it a try. Talk to you later.